Hello and welcome to another episode of Reading with Clyde. Today I have a chapter or part of a chapter from Jiddu Krishnamurti's book called Life Ahead. So the book is based on education and if you know, there are Krishnamurti schools. I don't know if they are all around the world, but at least in India there are a few. And he speaks from a perspective of an educator. But this kind of stuff is not just for educators. Parents can definitely use this to help bring up wholesome children. In the total development of the human being through right education, the quality of love must be nourished and sustained from the very beginning. Love is not sentimentality, nor is it devotion. It is as strong as death. Love cannot be bought through knowledge, and a mind that is pursuing knowledge without love is a mind that deals in rootlessness and aims merely at efficiency. So, the educator must be concerned from the very beginning with this quality of love, which is humility, gentleness, consideration, patience, and courtesy. Modesty and courtesy are innate in the man of right education. He is considerate to all, including the animals and plants, and this is reflected in his behavior and manner of talking. The emphasis of this quality of love frees the mind from its absorption in its ambition, greed, and acquisitiveness. Does not love have about it a refinement which expresses itself as respect and good taste? Does it not also bring about the purification of the mind, which otherwise has a tendency to strengthen itself in pride? Refinement in behavior is not a self imposed adjustment or the result of an outward demand. It comes spontaneously with this quality of love. When there is the understanding of love, then sex and all the complications and subtleties of human relationship can be approached with sanity and not with excitement and apprehension. The educator to whom the total development of the human being is of primary importance must understand the implications of the sexual urge which plays such an important part in our life and be able from the very beginning to meet the children's natural curiosity without arousing a morbid interest. Merely to impart biological information at the adolescent age may lead to experimental lust if the quality of love is not felt. Love cleanses the mind of evil. Without love and understanding on the part of the educator, merely to separate the boys from the girls, whether by barbed wire or by edicts, only strengthens their curiosity and stimulates that passion which is bound to degenerate into mere satisfaction. So it is important that boys and girls be educated together rightly. The quality of love must express itself also in doing things with one's hands, such as gardening, carpentry, painting, handicrafts, and through the senses, as seeing the trees, the mountains, the richness of the earth, the poverty that man have created amongst themselves, and in healing music, the song of the birds, the murmur of running waters. We are concerned not only with the cultivation of the mind and the awakening of emotional sensitivity, but also with a well rounded development of the physique. And to do this, we must give considerable thought. For if the body is not healthy, vital, it will inevitably distort thought and make for insensitivity. This is so obvious that we need not go into it in detail. It is necessary that the body be in excellent health, that it be given the right kind of food and have sufficient sleep. If the senses are not alert, the body will impede the total development of the human being. To have grace of movement and well balanced control of the muscles, there must be various forms of exercise, dancing, and games. A body that is not kept clean, that is sloppy, and does not hold itself in good posture is not conducive to sensitivity of mind and emotions. The body is not the instrument of the mind, but body, emotions, and mind make up the total human being. And unless they live together harmoniously, conflict is inevitable. Conflict makes for insensitivity. The mind may dominate the body and suppress the senses, but it thereby makes the body insensitive, and an insensitive body becomes a hindrance to the full flight of the mind. The mortification of the body is definitely not conducive to the seeking out of the deeper layers of consciousness. For this is possible only when the mind, the emotions, and the body are not in contradiction with each other, but are integrated and in unison effortlessly without being driven by a concept, belief, or ideal. In the cultivation of the mind, our emphasis should not be on concentration, but on attention. Concentration is a process of forcing the mind to narrow down to a point, whereas attention is without frontiers. In that process, the mind is always limited by a frontier or boundary, and when our concern is to understand the totality of the mind, mere concentration becomes a hindrance. Attention is limitless without the frontiers of knowledge. Knowledge comes through concentration, and any extension of knowledge is still within its own frontiers. In the state of attention, the mind can and does use knowledge, which of necessity is the result of concentration. But the part is never the whole, and adding together the many parts does not make for the perception of the whole. Knowledge, which is the additive process of concentration, does not bring about the understanding of the immeasurable. The total is never within the brackets of a concentrated mind. So, attention is of primary importance, but it does not come through the effort of concentration. Attention is a state in which the mind is ever learning without a center around which knowledge gathers as accumulated experience. A mind that is concentrated upon itself uses knowledge as a means of its own expansion, and such activity becomes self contradictory and antisocial. Learning in the true sense of the word is possible only in that state of attention, in which there is no outer or inner compulsion. Right thinking can come about only when the mind is not enslaved by tradition and memory. It is attention that allows silence to come upon the mind, which is the opening of the door to creation. That is why attention is of the highest importance. Wasn't that wonderful? If you recollect, every time that we grew up, we were taught to concentrate on this, concentrate on that, or in school as well. Paying attention was just another form of concentration. Pay attention to this, pay attention to this. And it was like the focus point. Over here, attention is awareness, being aware. Isn't it lovely, like, to be able to bring up a child without being pushed to do a certain thing, but to instead bring awareness of everything that is going on, as in society, in books, in music, in exposure to things that actually not just the mass culture, but a more holistic approach to everything to create well-rounded individuals that our society so desperately needs. I hope you enjoyed this one. Have a good one. Bye bye.